What's good, everybody? Yeah, no stabilizer today. Everything is just kind of raw and unexpected. But just specifically, I just want to share one thing. And the whole idea of why I created this YouTube channel. I'll make another video explaining, like, I guess the whole backstory as to why it was created. But the whole idea of the PsychoTutor is basically just to provide psychological perspective, or just to acknowledge that whatever we may be going through, there's someone else who's enduring it. I mean, it may be me most of the time, but in the future, I have plans where, as my resources expand, I would love to have someone else on the platform to speak their mind and give their piece. So it won't just be just one person. You can always have more than one different perspective. But this video is going to be very short. I only plan to talk about one thing, which is the topic, and to be brief, being that we're about to hit a minute. The topic is my worst fear and why. So to get right into it, to save us all the time, as I said, to keep it concise, I have a handful of fears, and when I mean like tangible, like actual fears. One fear I have is like the idea of, I guess the worst case scenario with bungee jumping. Like if you bungee jump, if you die, you don't get any kind of chance to react or to acknowledge what's going on. You just flat game over. I'm open to skydiving because of the idea that, I mean, at least I get to contemplate, I get to think. Depending on where I am, if I redirect myself while I'm in the air, it's a possibility that I could cushion the fall. Like, it's stuff like that actually happen. Anyways, I mean, there's other things: bears, wasps. I mean, really big cats and stuff like lions. You know, all of that. But it all depends on the situation and stuff. So, anyways. Specifically, what is my worst fear? I have one fear that is distinct and worse than all of them. I had one fear that was before that, but it actually somewhat came to life. Long story short, my worst fear as a child was the idea to watch anyone at all, anyone that is extremely close to me. It required at least two or more people or whatever, but anybody I considered, I guess, an aspect of who I am, if I was to see them at odds enough to inflict harm on each other. I mean, to watch that's a nightmare. And somewhere in my childhood, I've seen it happen. Not gonna go into it. It's very personal, and I think it would be disrespectful to the people involved if I was to go in detail. So my current fear now is to live a life of failure by my own definition. And what I consider successful is being able to sustain life on my own without the immediate need of someone else. It's okay to get help sometimes, but to get help consistently or all the time is something that I really am afraid of. I mean, being helpless, or I mean, having the path of my future being determined on who else decides to influence it. I mean, let's say my life is going to hell, hypothetically, and everything is falling apart, and things it goes beyond my control, and requires someone else to step in to assist me. Any situation where I absolutely need someone else's help in a time span where I feel as though I should be able to sustain my own life, that is my worst nightmare. I may be in my 30s, I may be in my 40s, my 50s. The thing is, I feel as though by the time I'm 30, I should be able to sustain my life for myself with moderate help here and there. But I feel as though 30 and after, again, there's nothing wrong with getting help every now and again, or sometimes, especially if it's from close loved ones like family. But to consistently need help from others without the acknowledgement that I'm able to do it on my own, not from others, but acknowledging within myself that I absolutely needed the help to get it done, that is my worst fear. And that is my definition of being a failure. And overall, that's why I created the YouTube channel. I wanted to not only, share my thoughts, but I like to give substance with things so people can learn from either stories that other people have done things, or situations that I feel as though I may be in or have endured. And my only vow and I never break them, my only vow right now is to make sure that my nightmare or my worst fear never comes to fruition. I do not want it to become a reality. Still requiring, like, I'm perfectly okay. I love my family. Like, the background is like home or whatever. But The home that I live in is I'm discontent because it's not something that I worked with my own two hands to attain. So it is what it is. That is my worst fear. And the best part about it, I would say most of the variables or most of the things that can lead to my future is totally under my control, which is why another reason why I love is like having this YouTube platform and also having my website, the small clothesline that I started, all of the above. I mean, all of those are great in its own right. But overall, I feel as though it is very important to live not by avoiding your fears, but by aiming towards your accomplishments that you want to add to your life. So me, even though that's my worst fear, I don't live by trying to prevent the fear. I live by trying to accomplish what I would deem as adding to my success story or my lineage, something I can pass down, whether it's verbally or actual concrete to my future generations. So it is what it is. When I leave the earth, I want my name to mean something more than just sitting on a page of a textbook. I want it to be like a folklore, the Genghis Khans or the Jesus Christ. I don't want to be a god, I don't want to be a deity, but I want to be important enough for people to look at me as a milestone or as an accolade that people will be proud to hear my name somewhere. Not just Malcolm, but I mean, my full name, Malcolm Montgomery. I want that to mean something distinctively separate from Malcolm X. I want my own image, both alive and dead. And specifically, that's pretty much what terrifies me the most. That is what kind of makes me work all day long and have my chill time until 2 in the morning. That's why. So, yeah, it's pretty brief, but if anybody have any questions or just want to give your input about anything at all, just be sure to drop it in the comments. It's your boy again, the PsychoTutor. Everybody who made it to the end or have been supporting me so far, I highly appreciate it. Every single bit of the likes, the views. I mean, every bit of contribution to my channel. It's highly appreciated. But a little bit longer than I expected. But it's the PsychoTutor again. Everybody take it easy. Every day is a good day unless you say otherwise. Peace.